Hey sweet cupcakes! I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to show you how to make these really cute baby Groot cupcakes. I've missed you so much and I'm so glad to be back, so let's get started. Okay, so I am using these Wilton silicone cupcake liners, and they are flower pots. They are super cute. I will be sure to leave a link down below. Now with regular cupcakes, you kind of just fill them 2/3 of the way. That's what I did with this, but it kind of overflowed, so I would suggest to fill them in a little bit less, maybe half. So I just trimmed off the excess and made sure that the cupcake was flat to the rim of the cupcake liner, and then I'm just putting some chocolate frosting on top to mimic dirt. To make it more realistic, I'm taking some Oreo cookies without the filling and using a blunt object. I'm using the end of a wooden spoon. I just crush them until they're crumbs. You can also just put them in a Ziploc bag to avoid mess, but you want it to look like this. I left some chunks a little bit chunkier and then some a little bit finer, but I just put them on the cupcake, pat it so that it sticks to the frosting, and then dump the excess back in the bowl to use for other cupcakes. So now we're going to create baby Groot. These are the colors that I used, and they are more or less in the order that I use them. So you basically want to have different shades of brown, one green, and a very dark brown. And here I am creating different sized logs, and this is going to be for Groot's body, and this is just going to make it look more dimensional. It's going to give it more texture and more definition as well as more detail. So you just want to do this with all of the colors. I made the green the thinnest of all just because I wanted it to be more brown than green. So once I have all of my logs, I then put them all together and start to roll them. Now I'm not squishing them down as I roll them, because if you squish too hard, it's going to get rid of the grooves, and we really want those grooves to make it look like the branches are sort of intertwined with each other. And then I'm going to go ahead and start twisting it just like this. So here I have a skewer, and I'm going to go ahead and roll out the top of that branch that we just made and kind of just smooth it out, and this is where the head is going to go. As you saw and as I said, I used a skewer. This is about 4.5 inches tall, and this is actually what is going to help us put Groot onto the cupcake. So now, using the end of that skewer or even a toothpick, I'm going to go ahead and drag some lines across each of the colors, and this is just going to make it a little bit more detailed, a little bit more realistic, and just give it a lot of complexity. Is that a word? It's gonna make it look really cool and detailed. I don't think I mentioned it, but I am using gum paste. I would really suggest for you to use gum paste for this, just because if you do use fondant, it's going to take a very long time to dry and harden up, where gum paste gets hard in just a couple of minutes. I actually left it out for an hour to fully dry. So I'm going to go ahead and work on Groot's head. I rolled out a disc of that medium toned brown, and I'm just measuring it to see that it is the right size. And from here, we are going to go ahead and make little branch-like strips of gum paste of all of the different colors except for the green, and making one of the ends a little bit pointy, so that's going to be his hair. And then we just put that on to that disc that we made, and I'm going to remove the excess from the bottom, as well as with my finger, just the pads of my fingers, just flattening it out so that it's nice and smooth, so that the face really starts to pop out. I'm using, oh my goodness, I'm getting so tongue-tied. I'm using my skewer to separate the little branches on top and just to give them more life and more character. So using my skewer, I'm going to go ahead and draw his mouth. And then using the other end of my skewer, so the blunt end, I'm going to go ahead and sort of indent where I want the eyes to go. And I'm taking that very dark brown gum paste. I'm making 2 little small spheres, and I'm going to go ahead and place them where I made the small little indents for his eyes. So now I'm going to go ahead and attach the head to the body. I'm again rolling out a flat disc out of that medium brown gum paste. And here I have a little bit of water with a little bit of that brown gum paste. And basically I smushed it all together and made some edible glue. So with a food safe paintbrush, I'm going to go ahead and paint some of that edible glue right onto that divot that we made onto his body, and then I'm going to go ahead and attach his head. I'm going to turn him around, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply that brown disc right over top, and again just attaching that with some of that edible glue. To make it a little bit seamless, I just made sure to smooth it all out, and then you can also use a skewer and make some more grooves into that, but honestly no one's really going to look at the back, so I just kind of left it as is. Using a different skewer, I'm going to go ahead and make 2 holes on the sides of his body for his arms. His arms are super simple. They are basically just how we did his body, but in a smaller form. And then you want to go ahead and taper one of the ends, and you can use a knife, but I just really used the skewer. I made 2 little dents, and these are going to be his branchy little cute fingers. You can make more fingers for him if you want to. I just did 3. And that's basically it. You also just want to use the skewer to add some more details and definition. But once you are ready to apply it, you can use some of that edible glue and just apply the arms. Now, one thing that I will suggest is for you to use toothpicks to attach the arms. Later on, you'll see that one of the arms actually fell off of my Groot, so I ended up using toothpicks, and it's just a safer way to make sure that the arms don't come off, because they are a bit heavy for the glue to hold in place. Here I have a bit of a napkin just to hold the arms up so that they don't dry flat. If you let the arms dry flat, when you stand him up, they are going to be looking a little bit weird, so you want to put some napkins as it's drying so that his arms come a little bit forward. And this is it. You just attach him on, and you can see that one of his arms fell. But like you see here in the end result, I did use toothpicks to attach his arms, and he turned out just fine. You can also make little leaves to put in his little branchy hair. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and make sure to stay tuned for more. I love you so much, and I'll see you later. Bye!